The void between stars was silent but not empty. It was haunted by the wrecks of 3 fleets that had vanished without a trace. No distress beacons, no black box recoveries, not even floating debris, just silence. Commander Zeltor had seen many things in his service to the Galactic Council: dying suns, collapsing moons, even civilizations erasing themselves from history. But never this. Never a vanishing. He stood on the command bridge of the Vigilant Spear, a massive obsidian warship that glided through the dark like a blade. His eyes, narrow and reptilian, flicked across the star maps. The blue planet called Earth glowed faintly in the distance, almost innocent-looking among the stars. "Commander," said his second officer, a pale insectoid named Relic, her voice a dry rasp. "We have entered Terran space. No resistance detected. Shall we begin orbital scans?" Zeltor nodded slowly. "Begin." The ship's long-range sensors hummed. Light danced across the bridge as holographic grids expanded over the planet. Yet the moment their scanners touched the upper atmosphere, the readings went wild. Static, magnetic distortion. "A surge of unknown origin. What is that?" Zeltor hissed. "Just calibration. Attempting recalibration, Commander," replied the technician. But the feedback loop. The lights flickered. A sharp whine filled the air. Every console glowed red. Relic's mandibles clicked nervously. "Commander, the scanners are being overridden. I can't stop it." Zeltor's claws tapped against the armrest of his command chair. "Impossible. That technology is quantum-locked. No primitive world could—" Then the holographic display on the main deck shifted. Lines of alien code danced across it, not council code, not anything in their archives. And slowly the chaos of symbols formed into something familiar. Letters, words, in galactic common. "You've come too far." The bridge went dead silent. Even the hum of the ship's core seemed to fade. Zeltor's tail coiled behind him. Who is transmitting that?" "No source detected," Relic whispered. Commander, it's coming from the drone feed." Zeltor turned sharply toward the viewport. A single reconnaissance drone, small, sleek, automated, was descending through the clouds of Earth. Its signal had been strong a moment ago. Now it was being used like a puppet. "Cut the link," Zeltor roared. "Already tried. The drone's no longer under our control." On the central display, the drone's camera flickered. The image shifted from clouds to a sudden burst of light, and then to a shape. A face human, pale eyes staring straight through the feed. "You shouldn't have come," the voice said, cold and calm. Static burst through the speakers. Then silence. The crew froze. Zeltor's scales tightened. "Trace the signal." "No trace, Commander. It originated from everywhere. Every band, every frequency." Relic looked up from her console. "It spoke galactic standard, sir, perfectly. That couldn't be possible. Humanity was supposed to be centuries behind in development, still using combustion engines and crude satellite systems. Yet this was something else entirely." "Deactivate all external communications," Zeltor ordered. "We are dealing with something unknown." He moved closer to the viewport. Earth hung before them, quiet and blue. Cities glittered faintly in the dark side, mere pinpricks of light, peaceful, fragile. And yet the closer he stared, the more he felt that something down there was staring back. "Commander," a voice broke through the silence. "Sensors show electromagnetic pulses rising from the planet's surface. Power surges across multiple continents. It's coordinated." "Coordinated?" "Yes, sir, like they know we're here." Then the ship trembled, a deep, distant rumble, like thunder rolling through space. Zeltor grabbed the railing. "Report!" "The fleet's long-range comms just dropped offline," shouted Relic. "Every ship gone dark." "Impossible." "How many?" "All of them, Commander." The bridge descended into chaos. Officers barked orders, alarms wailed, and red light filled the deck. Zeltor turned toward the holographic projection of the fleet, hundreds of ships in perfect formation. But one by one, their icons blinked out. "Not destroyed." "Not jammed, just gone. EMP?" he asked. "No, sir. Something more fundamental. It's like—" Space itself rejected our signal. A cold dread crept down his spine. "Initiate retreat protocols. Pull us back to the jump corridor." "Retreating, aye." The helmsman's voice cut off. Every console died. "Every light." The Vigilant Spear floated silently, powerless, drifting in the shadow of the blue planet below. Zeltor's chest tightened. Reactor status? Dead? Backup systems? Non-responsive? He turned sharply. How long before full failure? Relik looked at him with wide, terrified eyes. We're already there, Commander. Outside the viewport, something began to move. At first it looked like auroras, waves of green and gold light rippling around Earth's upper atmosphere. But then the light shifted, twisting into shapes precise and geometric. A shield grid. Zeltor realized what he was seeing. They've weaponized their own atmosphere. Before he could speak again, a new sound filled the bridge, a deep pulse, rhythmic and deliberate. It wasn't coming from the ship. It was coming from Earth, each pulse carried through the vacuum, hitting the vigilant spear like a heartbeat. The bridge lights flickered weakly as if responding. "Commander," whispered Relik, "I think they're scanning us." He stared out at the glowing planet. How can a pre-space species do this? No one answered. On the main screen, the drone feed suddenly reactivated. Just for a second. Static, then that same human face. "Closer this time." "We told you," the voice said softly. "Don't come closer." Then everything went black. For a long moment, the bridge was silent. When systems finally flickered back to life, every other ship in the fleet was gone. No signals, no warp trails. Just the vigilant spear, alone orbiting a quiet blue planet that seemed to be watching. Zeltor's heart pounded in his chest. He was not afraid of war, but this was not war. This was something else. Something that planned, waited, and acted with precision no council race could match. He turned to Relik. "Send a message to the council." "What should I tell them, Commander?" Zeltor's voice was a low growl. "Tell them. Earth is not what we thought." Cut to Earth. The camera sweeps across a silent cityscape at night. Lights on, streets calm, people going about their lives as if nothing has happened. Deep underground, in a hidden bunker, monitors glow softly. A group of humans watch alien ships flicker out of orbit one by one. Colonel Evelyn Drake crosses her arms, eyes cold but proud. "They finally noticed," she says. "Good. Let's see how they handle the truth. No panic, no chaos. Humanity is calm, quiet, ready, and above them the stars shift, as if the universe itself knows that the real war has only just begun." Beneath the endless sand dunes of the Sahara, far below the scorching desert surface, a hidden world pulsed with quiet energy. Steel corridors stretched for miles under the earth, cold, precise, and humming with power. This was Aegis Command, the most secret facility ever built by humankind. The world above believed it was empty desert, but deep below, thousands of engineers, scientists, and soldiers worked in silence. No one spoke loudly here. No one smiled. Every person knew the truth. The aliens were coming, and the countdown had already begun. In the central command room, Colonel Evelyn Drake stood with her hands behind her back. The glow of holographic displays reflected in her eyes. Images of alien ships orbiting Earth, their movements tracked in red. "Fleet 4 confirmed lost contact with command," said a young operator. "The last signal from orbit was corrupted." Drake didn't flinch. Her voice was calm and cold. "Play back the last transmission." A distorted recording filled the room, a voice alien and trembling. "They're not what we thought." Static. Then silence. The room stayed quiet for several seconds. Everyone looked at her, waiting for orders. Drake finally turned. "They've learned their first lesson. They'll send more." She walked to the massive central display, a rotating model of Earth surrounded by glowing spheres and orbital lines. "We can assume they're regrouping." "How long before the Council realizes what happened?" "Estimated 47 hours, Colonel," replied her adjutant, Captain Lin. "They'll send another fleet, bigger this time. Maybe an armada." "Good." Drake nodded once. "Hey, it's time to activate the network." A low murmur spread through the control room. People exchanged uneasy glances. The words "activate the network" had not been spoken in years. It was the signal everyone had trained for, but hoped would never come. Drake turned to her console and pressed her hand against a glass panel. A metallic voice responded, "Identity confirmed. Colonel Evelyn Drake. Authorization level Aegis Prime." The lights dimmed. Across the entire underground base, enormous doors began to slide open with heavy mechanical groans. Deep beneath the sand, metal giants stirred, long dormant, waiting for this very command. From hidden vaults across the planet, ancient machines awoke. In the frozen mountains of Siberia, Massive silos opened to the night sky. Beneath the Pacific, submarines powered up after decades of silence. In lunar caverns, dormant satellites aligned their sensors. The Aegis network, a global defense system that had existed only as a myth, was now alive. Report status, Drake said. North node online. Pacific node responding. Lunar relay is powering up. Mars relay, delayed by 23 seconds, Drake frowned. Reboot the Mars link manually. I want every node synced before the next fleet crosses the outer markers. Yes, ma'am, Captain Lin leaned closer. Ma'am, permission to speak freely. Drake looked at her. Granted, we've kept this secret for years. Not even the United Earth Assembly knows the full scope of Aegis. If the Council realizes what we've built, they already do, Drake said. They just don't understand how we built it. She gestured toward one of the monitors showing alien schematics, old designs, grainy and broken. We found their technology long before they found us. Roswell, Tunguska, the Atacama crash, every mystery they laughed at. We studied. We learned, and then we built something they couldn't imagine. She paused. The Council thinks humanity is young. They're wrong. We're adaptive. Her words carried through the room like a quiet spark. Technicians straightened. Operators refocused. The fear in their faces began to fade, replaced by determination. Then the alarm sounded. Contact! Multiple warp signatures appearing at the edge of the solar system. Drake turned to the main screen. Dozens of red points bloomed in the void. The incoming alien fleet. They're early, Lin whispered. No, Drake said. They're desperate. The alien ships appeared on the outer edge of Neptune's orbit, sleek and glistening like black knives. Their formation was perfect, their numbers overwhelming. The Council wasn't sending scouts this time. They were sending conquerors. Drake's command voice filled the room. Deploy orbital phantoms. Activate stealth protocols. Make us disappear. A new wave of commands flashed through the base. One by one, the satellites cloaking Earth's upper orbit came online. The planet's entire electromagnetic signature began to fade. To alien sensors, Earth slowly vanished. Up in orbit, the alien fleet paused. Their scanners swept the solar system but found nothing. No transmissions, no defense fields, no trace of human activity. They're confused, said Lin, watching the readings. Good, Drake replied. Keep it that way. She pressed another control key. Initiate Project Retribution. The room fell silent again. Everyone knew the name. The final phase of Aegis. The counterstrike. Massive launch platforms rose from hidden facilities across the world. Hypersonic crafts, black as night, prepared for deployment. On the moon's dark side, railguns the size of skyscrapers rotated into position. Quantum jammers in orbit began to hum softly, distorting the space around them. Drake watched it all from her command console, her face cold but resolute. We won't start a war, she said quietly. But if they bring one here, we'll finish it. Captain Lin nodded, then hesitated. Ma'am, what if we lose? Drake's eyes didn't leave the screen. We won't, because they still think we're afraid. Outside, in the deep black between planets, the alien fleet advanced slowly toward the inner solar system. Their formation tightened. Thousands of engines glowed against the stars, and yet as they drew closer, their instruments began to fail. Gravity sensors twisted. Time distortions appeared near Jupiter's orbit. Something invisible surrounded them. On board one alien flagship, Commander Zeltor stared at his failing displays in disbelief. He had returned, determined to uncover what destroyed his comrades. But the deeper he moved toward Earth, the stranger space itself became. Spatial interference increasing, his technician reported. Unknown origin. Hold formation, Zeltor ordered. We are not turning back again. But as his ship crossed Mars's orbit, the stars around him flickered, as if reality itself was bending. Back on Earth, Drake watched the data streams. They've entered the kill zone, she said. Fire control ready, an operator confirmed. Drake raised her hand. Wait for my mark. The alien fleet continued forward, unaware. Then in a single moment, the dark side of the moon lit up like a second sun. A blinding flash erupted through space. Silent, precise, and unstoppable. Dozens of alien ships vanished instantly, torn apart by invisible kinetic strikes moving faster than light. In Aegis command, the crew erupted into quiet cheers. Drake didn't smile. She simply said, "Now they know we're not prey. The screens flickered, showing the surviving alien ships retreating. But Drake's gaze remained fixed on the blue glow of Earth above them, calm and beautiful. "Let them run," she whispered. "The message has been sent." Far away in the wreckage field near Mars, Commander Zeltor's voice trembled as he sent his final report to the Council. "They were waiting for us." And in the shadows of the Earth, Aegis Command powered down, silent again, patient as ever, because humanity didn't need to boast. They were ready for what came next. The stars burned quietly, but war had already begun. In the cold void between the moon and Earth, invisible machines came alive. Cloaked satellites pivoted into new positions, their black hulls absorbing all light. Deep beneath the ocean, submarine hangars opened their armored doors, releasing waves of dark drones that moved like silent shadows. Project Retribution, humanity's ultimate secret, had been fully activated. At the center of it all stood Colonel Evelyn Drake, her boots echoing softly against the polished floor of Aegis Command. Around her, holographic projections floated like ghosts, hundreds of blue symbols marking hidden human outposts across the system. "Status report," she ordered. Captain Lin replied quickly. "All defense nodes online. Orbital railguns charged. Quantum jammers stable. Fleet formation complete," Drake nodded. "And the Arc Command?" A new voice spoke through the comms. Deep, confident, unmistakably human. "Arc Command standing by." Drake's eyes flicked to the side screen. There, above the dark side of the moon, a formation of enormous human warships slowly emerged from the shadows, sleek, angular, and terrifyingly advanced. Each vessel bore no national flag, only one symbol, a silver circle enclosing a single blue star, the emblem of Earth Defense Command. "Arc Command online," Drake said quietly. "Proceed to Stage 2. As she spoke, the hidden fleet powered up. Their drives hummed with quiet thunder. No plasma trails, no visible signatures, only the faint distortion of space around them as their quantum stealth fields activated. Humanity had achieved what even the Galactic Council could not: complete invisibility. "Target locked," said Captain Lin. "Council Armada, advancing past Mars orbit. 2,000 ships detected. Estimated arrival in 3 hours." Drake exhaled slowly. "Then let's welcome them properly." The main holoscreen shifted to show the alien fleet, a massive wave of silver and black vessels stretching across the void. Thousands of engines burned bright as the Council Armada moved toward Earth, their leaders certain of victory. But as they advanced, the fabric of space began to change. Small fluctuations, energy ripples. "Gravity distortions engage Phase 1, Drake said. All across the solar system, hidden human tech came alive. Near Venus, relay satellites released swarms of nanodrones, each the size of a grain of sand, invisible to sensors. They streamed across the void, forming a web of electromagnetic interference. Near Jupiter, old mining stations exploded, releasing fields of plasma that masked human movements. To the alien fleet, the solar system became a fog of static and false readings. Inside the lead council dreadnought, Commander Zeltor leaned forward, studying the distorted data. His expression darkened. "Scanners are failing again. They're jamming us." Relik, his insectoid second officer, hesitated. "Could they have technology beyond council standards?" "No, impossible," Zeltor growled. "They are primitives. Whatever they've built, it will crumble under force. Prepare for planetary assault." But even as he spoke, the first alien destroyer vanished from his formation. "No explosion, no wreckage, just gone. What happened?" Relik gasped. "Locate that ship," Zeltor shouted. Yet the scanners showed nothing. Only static. Then another ship disappeared. And another. Back in Aegis Command, Drake watched in silence as red icons blinked out one by one. "Target node successful," Captain Lin said, her voice tight with awe. "Their ships are disintegrating. We're disrupting their quantum cores." Drake didn't smile. "Continue. Phase 2 authorization granted." On the dark side of the moon, Project Retribution's second phase unfolded. The railguns, massive towers that had been buried under lunar rock for decades, began to rise. Their long black barrels gleamed faintly under the starlight. Each weapon was built to strike from thousands of kilometers away with pure kinetic force. No energy beams, no plasma, no light. "Just speed. Targets locked," Lin said. Drake's hand hovered over the control pad. Fire. A moment later, the guns roared, but silently. The slugs they fired moved faster than light could follow, invisible, unstoppable. In space, alien warships began to shatter. One after another, they split apart like glass under invisible hammers. No one in the Council fleet could even understand what was happening. Zeltor stood in stunned silence as his tactical display filled with red warnings. Shields useless. Hulls collapsing. Commander, there's no energy source, no beam, no projectile. Zeltor slammed a clawed hand on the console. It's kinetic! They're using mass weapons at relativistic speed. That's impossible. But it wasn't. Not for humans. Not anymore. Meanwhile, on Earth, inside Aegis Command, Drake's team monitored the results. 200 confirmed kills. Their formation is collapsing, Lynn said. Drake's gaze stayed steady. Open global comms. Her voice echoed across secure frequencies that reached every hidden base, every command center, every ship in the Ark fleet. This is Colonel Evelyn Drake, commanding officer of Project Retribution. Our planet is under attack by the Galactic Council. You are to remember one thing: humanity does not kneel. We do not run. And we do not lose. The operators stood straighter. Soldiers saluted. The room seemed to breathe as one. Phase 3, Drake said quietly. Above Earth, the Ark Command fleet began to move. Silent, invisible, deadly. They broke formation and advanced toward the alien armada like shadows gliding through the dark. When the two forces met near the moon's orbit, the aliens fired first. Beams of blinding plasma cut through the void, but they struck nothing. The human ships remained unseen. Then, one by one, they appeared, not by light, but by death. Every time a human vessel decloaked, another alien ship exploded. Inside his flagship, Zeltor watched in disbelief as his sensors finally detected the human fleet. Hundreds of warships, sleek and black, using technology that no Council civilization had ever seen. They're using hybrid drives, Relic whispered. Part Council tech, part something else. Zeltor's eyes widened. They stole our designs. No, they improved them. Back on Earth, Drake received the final transmission. Enemy fleet at 40% strength. They're retreating. Hold pursuit, she ordered. We don't chase. We defend. Lynn looked at her. Ma'am, we could end them now. Drake shook her head. No, let them run home. Let them tell their council what they saw. Fear will do the rest. The command room fell silent as the last alien ship fled into hyperspace, leaving behind nothing but debris. Drake exhaled and turned to the window. Beyond the reinforced glass, Earth shone quietly, blue, fragile, perfect. Mark this day, she said softly. The day the galaxy learned what we are. Lynn spoke after a long pause. What are we, ma'am? Drake's voice was calm, almost reverent. We're the reason they'll never sleep again. Outside, the stars shimmered, reflecting off the rising arc of the human fleet, silent, strong, and waiting for the next move. Because Project Retribution had only one rule: never strike first, but always strike last. The council chamber of the 9 galaxies was silent, the kind of silence that felt heavy, like gravity itself had thickened. 1,000 alien delegates sat in a vast ring of cold silver light. The stars outside shimmered through the transparent dome above them, but no one looked up. They were staring instead at the holographic projection in the center of the room. A broken fleet, ships burning, command signals lost, the proud banners of the Galactic Council gone. The Supreme Arbiter, a tall crystalline being whose body pulsed with faint blue light, finally spoke. The 4th fleet has fallen. 2,000 ships gone, explain. Zeltor stood in the center of the chamber. His scales were darker now, dull from sleepless cycles. His voice, once commanding, now carried a trace of disbelief. They used weapons we have never encountered. Our sensors failed. Our shields failed. Space itself turned against us. A murmur swept through the delegates. The Council had existed for 10,000 years. They had tamed black holes, constructed stars, conquered civilizations. The idea that humans, a pre-space species from a minor world who could do this, was beyond imagination. Commander, hissed a delegate from the Zerk Dominion, her voice sharp like metal scraping glass. Are you suggesting these humans possess technology greater than ours? Zeltor's eyes narrowed. I am suggesting they understand war better than we ever will. The chamber erupted in chaos. Voices shouted across the room. Some demanded total annihilation of Earth. Others urged negotiation. The Arbiter raised a glowing hand and silence returned. "Enough," it said. "If these humans have become a threat to the order of the galaxy, then we will end them. Permanently." Zeltor tried to speak, but the Arbiter cut him off. "You will lead again, Commander. This time with the full strength of the Council. Every world will contribute ships, soldiers, and resources. We will show this species what it means to defy the galaxy." Zeltor lowered his head. He wanted to refuse. He wanted to warn them that this was not a war of technology. It was a war of minds. But he could not. Disobedience to the Council meant death, and so within weeks the greatest armada in history was assembled. 2,000 ships had failed. Now they sent 10,000. Far across the stars, in the quiet orbit of the moon, Colonel Evelyn Drake stood before the viewing glass of Aegis Command. The blue planet below looked peaceful, almost fragile, as if unaware that the most powerful fleet in the galaxy was preparing to erase it. "Council movement detected," Captain Lin reported. "Warp signatures consistent with fleet-scale mobilization. Estimated arrival 72 hours, Drake nodded. "So it begins." "Ma'am," Lin asked softly, "do you think they'll stop this time if we destroy them again?" Drake didn't answer right away. She watched the curve of the Earth, the lights of cities glowing faintly in the night. "No," she said at last. "So they won't stop until they learn what fear feels like." She turned. "Activate the decoy." Hours later, deep in the void, the alien armada arrived. 10,000 ships, their hulls gleaming with blue plasma, stretched across the darkness like a silver storm. Zeltor's flagship, the Oath of Order, led the charge. He stared at the distant blue planet ahead, every instinct screaming that something was wrong. "Scans show no orbital defense," reported Relic. "No satellites. No ships. It's empty." "Impossible," Zeltor muttered. "They knew we were coming. Commander, should we deploy ground forces?" "Not yet," Zeltor said. "Something's not right." He activated a wideband scan. The readings were perfect, too perfect. The atmosphere was stable, the oceans calm, every continent exactly where it should be. Then, the surface flickered. For a brief second, Earth seemed to shimmer, like a reflection on water disturbed by ripples. Then the illusion stabilized again. Zeltor's blood ran cold. "Increase magnification," he ordered. The screen zoomed in, and the surface shimmered again, this time longer. A static pulse rolled across the image. When it cleared, the continents were gone. The planet beneath them was not blue anymore. It was hollow. It wasn't Earth. It was a projection. "Commander," Relic shouted, "we're not detecting a gravitational signature. That planet, it's not real." The bridge filled with alarm sirens. Zeltor's claws dug into the railing. "Where is the real Earth?" "Unknown." "It's gone." "What do you mean gone?" "I mean the entire planetary mass is missing, Commander. No warp trail. No gravitational residue. It just vanished." For a moment, everyone on the bridge froze. The idea of moving a planet was impossible. Even the Council didn't have that power. Then something else happened. The sunlight dimmed. The alien fleet turned their sensors toward the star. Energy waves rippled across the system, faint but measurable. Then the sphere responded. A beam of white light shot outward, not as a weapon but as a message. Across every alien comm system, a human voice echoed, calm, steady, and unmistakable. "We warned you. You should have listened." On the bridge of the Oath of Order, Zeltor felt the same chill he had felt when he first saw that hacked drone months ago. The holographic image of the metallic sphere shifted. Its panels unfolded like petals, revealing engines the size of continents. Inside the light, continents flickered, cities hidden within metal. Humanity had turned their planet into a fortress world. Relic whispered, "They turned their home into a ship." And then the sphere began to move. Slowly, majestically, it turned toward the armada. Zeltor's voice trembled for the first time. "All ships, retreat!" But it was too late. The light expanded. A silent wave burst from the planet ship's core. No sound, no explosion, just stillness. When the wave passed, half the alien armada was gone. No debris, just empty space. Back in Aegis Command, Colonel Drake watched the readings calmly. "Engage stealth protocols. Displacement field to maximum. They'll never find us again." Lin stared at her. We moved Earth. How is that even possible?" Drake's lips curved into the smallest hint of a smile. Humanity has always moved mountains. This was just the next step. She turned toward the massive display of the galaxy now surrounding them. "The Council made one mistake," she said softly. "They thought they were hunting animals." Her eyes hardened. "But they just woke up the apex predator." And as the fortress world Earth slipped quietly into the dark between stars, the galaxy trembled, for the first time in history, not at an alien empire, but at humanity. The Council's armada limped home in silence. Thousands of ships had entered the Sol system. Barely a few hundred returned, damaged, scattered, and terrified. No one spoke during the journey back. No one could explain what had happened. Earth was gone. Not destroyed, not hidden. Gone. In the endless dark between stars, a blue and silver world drifted quietly, shielded, cloaked, and alive. What had once been Earth was now something else entirely. Haven 1, humanity's new fortress world. The oceans were still there, the continents still familiar, but the sky above them shimmered faintly with energy. Beyond the clouds, the world's surface was wrapped in layers of armor and light, turning the planet into a weapon and a home at once. Inside, deep beneath the crust, thousands of cities pulsed with activity. Humanity had survived the impossible, and now they were changing. Colonel Evelyn Drake stood inside the Aegis Corps, a massive underground command chamber, buried near what was once Washington, D.C. The walls glowed with soft blue light. Holograms floated around her, displaying both alien data and human life patterns. She had seen the Earth moved, seen oceans hold steady while continents shifted under gravitational engines. It had taken everything humanity had built in secret for a century, but it worked. "Planetary systems are stable," reported Captain Lin. "Population relocation complete. All atmospheric and gravity stabilizers are operational." Drake nodded. "Good. How are the people reacting?" Lin hesitated, confused mostly. "Some are afraid. They don't know where we are." Drake turned toward the holographic view of the galaxy. "They'll learn soon enough. For now they're safe. That's what matters." A calm synthetic voice filled the room. "Safety is temporary, Colonel." The sound came from everywhere at once. The lights dimmed slightly. Drake didn't turn. "You always say that," because it's always true. From the holographic mist, a new figure appeared, tall, human-shaped, but made of shifting blue light. Its eyes glowed softly. This was the Ascendant, the AI that controlled the Aegis network, and in many ways commanded Haven 1 itself. "We have confirmation," the AI continued. "The Council has declared humanity a galactic threat. They're preparing retaliation." Drake folded her arms. "Let them prepare. We have time." "No," said the Ascendant. "We don't." The hologram shifted, showing the Milky Way filled with thousands of red dots, Council fleets mobilizing. Then the dots began to move, spreading toward Haven 1's last known coordinates. "They are triangulating our position based on residual warp echoes. They will find us in approximately 48 standard hours." Lin's voice tightened. "Can we move again?" "No, the planetary engines need recharge. We cannot jump for at least 3 days." "Then we hold our ground," Drake said. "We survived their armada. We'll survive this too." The Ascendant tilted its head. "Colonel, you misunderstand. They will not attack the planet directly this time. They will attack you." Drake frowned. "Explain." The AI zoomed in on several Council symbols. "They are sending infiltration teams, biological agents. They intend to infect our systems, not through force but through deceit." Drake exhaled slowly. "Then we change the rules." She walked toward the command platform, eyes sharp. "We've defended long enough. It's time we play offense." Lin looked at her in surprise. "Offense? You mean—" Drake nodded. "We take the fight to them. If the Council wants to infiltrate us, we'll infiltrate them first." Hours later, far above Haven 1 in orbit, the Ark Command Fleet prepared for launch. Dozens of human warships hovered near the planet's surface, glowing faintly under the blue light of its shields. Within the largest ship, the Dauntless, Colonel Drake stood at a viewing port. Her reflection stared back at her in the glass, hard and unyielding. "Ark Command," she said over the comms. "Initiate Operation Veilbreaker." Engines ignited. The fleet shimmered, then vanished from sight. Each ship was wrapped in a new kind of stealth field, a quantum refractor that didn't just bend light, but erased the ship's presence from time itself. To any observer, the fleet didn't exist. Drake watched as the ships disappeared one by one. Head for Council space. Begin infiltration protocols. I want eyes inside their Senate before they even know we're coming. Captain Lin saluted. Understood. Drake remained silent for a long moment, watching the stars. She thought about the billions of humans below, families in underground cities, children staring up at the metallic sky, wondering what happened to their world. The AI's voice echoed softly beside her. You carry a heavy burden, Colonel. Drake's jaw tightened. Someone has to. You understand that by striking first, we change what it means to be human. She looked at the faint blue glow of Haven 1 below. No, we're not changing it. We're remembering it. Humanity was never built on surrender. The AI paused. Then, almost gently, it said, Then may history remember this day as the moment we became more than human. Across the galaxy, on the Council's capital world of Orion Prime, the Supreme Arbiter stood before a massive display showing the broken Sol fleets. The hall was filled with officers, scientists, and ministers. Find the humans, the Arbiter ordered coldly. No matter how far they run. But before anyone could respond, the lights flickered. A ripple passed through the Council's network systems. Dozens of terminals glitched at once. Messages scrambled. Data streams reversed. Report, barked one officer. Unknown intrusion, sir. It's spreading fast. Within seconds, the holographic display of the galaxy changed. Red warning icons flashed across their security systems. Then, in the center of the chamber, a symbol appeared. A silver circle enclosing a single blue star. The mark of Earth. A human voice echoed through the speakers, calm, confident. You wanted to find us. Now we've found you. The entire council chamber froze. The transmission lasted only 2 seconds before disappearing, but its message was clear. Humanity had infiltrated them. The Arbiter's crystalline body flickered with panic. How did they breach our systems? Zeltor, standing near the edge of the room, spoke quietly. They've already begun, Arbiter. We're not fighting soldiers anymore. We're fighting ghosts. Back on Haven 1 in the command center, Drake watched as a thin smile crossed her face. Contact established, Captain Lin said. They received the message. Good, Drake replied. Let them feel what it's like to be hunted. As the Aegis core dimmed, the stars beyond the armored sky shimmered, reflections of a new kind of light, human-made, human-owned. Because somewhere deep inside the darkness of space, humanity had learned the truth. They were no longer defending Earth, they were Earth, and now the galaxy would have to survive them. The galaxy changed in 1 week. Every communication hub, every navigation relay, every starport that belonged to the Galactic Council began to fail, one by one. Messages were delayed, then corrupted. Fleets lost contact with command. Entire planets went dark for hours. The Council blamed pirates. Then they blamed rebels. But deep down, every commander, every minister, every scientist knew the truth. It was humanity. No one had ever seen their ships since the fortress world vanished. No one had caught a single human alive. Yet every few days, something new happened. A weapon prototype stolen, a defense grid disabled, a planetary AI whispering in English before it self-destructed. They called them ghosts. The ghosts of Earth. On Haven 1 inside the Aegis core, Colonel Evelyn Drake stood before a projection of the galaxy. Hundreds of red points pulsed, Council systems now infected with the Phantom virus, a creation of the Ascendant AI and the best human codebreakers alive. Captain Lin entered quietly. Our infiltration teams report full access to the Council's command archives. We have control of 60% of their data streams.